Cool. I'm back with another breakdown. Today is Wednesday. It's currently 4:27 p.m. I'm gonna be going over a trade that I was executing on last night on gold. I did take multiple positions on one account, and then on the other account, I did take my profit and simply called it a day just because I hit my profit goal. So I wasn't really trying to exceed that since I'm still meeting my consistency goal and I still have less than 30 days to receive my payout with the company before I can receive weekly payouts. So I'm gonna go ahead and break gold down. I was executing buys and sells. Buys are more ideal though for this area, even though it looked like it could have sold off. Buys were still forming structure and holding levels of support that gave you the clues that you needed to continue to push to the upside. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. And yeah, man, let's break down this trade. So we see here, I'm gonna delete all these technicals and kind of just break it down to you on what I was looking at, how I executed, and what I was anticipating for this area. Okay, all right, that's everything. All right, so we see here, for those that may have not seen my last video, we see that based off our daily time frame, we are in a range. Now, to start the week, we did touch pretty much our daily level of support down here. So let's go ahead and go to the 4-hour time frame. Since we already know on the daily time frame, we are counter trending even though we are bullish. Now, 4-hour time frame has been forming lower high points. So we have a lower high point here, a lower high point here. So for our last lower high point, let's go ahead and draw out our level of resistance right in here. Cool. So now to start the week, price the wick down, nearly touching our daily level of support, and then we pretty much had a bullish rally to the upside. Now we're gonna go from our 4-hour time frame down to our 1 hour, since we already know we've reached our 4-hour lower high point here at around 33.48. Now based off our hourly time frame, we had a higher low opportunity that formed off our bullish transition area, and then you simply see that we're now forming bullish structure. Now yesterday I did have my fib drawn out, so we see here for our fib level we formed a 23.6 retracement, nearly touching 38.2. So let me go ahead and delete these. 60, 71, and yeah, that's it. Cool. So we see here now, this is what I was looking at going into the market. We had this support area here that held based off your hourly time frame, where I was initially executing buy opportunities right in here, and then when price sold off, came down, I executed more buy opportunities in here, which then rallied, and then we had another pullback, which led to those trades ending in a break even. And then price pushed right back up and I executed buy opportunities again. Price pushed up, came back down. Those trades resulted in a small gain. And then I also tried taking sells, I think, in this area on one of the accounts. But yeah, let's go ahead and break this area down and see how exactly we could have executed off of it. So based off our hourly time frame, we had this initial level of support right before 6 p.m. So let's go from our 1 hour to our 15 minutes. So now based off our 15-minute time frame, once price gave us this this like doji candle with seller's exhaustion, this was at around 4:45 to about 5 o'clock. I did execute buys in this area once we had this candle close. I was on the 5 and 1 minute time frame executing opportunities. I did have a small stop loss, so once price gained a little bit of momentum right before the flip, it stopped me out for about 20 pips. So I did take an initial loss on that account, and this would have hit for about 50 to 60 pips, where I would have took my TP for about a 1 to 4 R to R. Then price rallied down. We had this next area that formed support right in here. We'll do this here. So you see this is going to be our next area that we want to get above. Okay, so once price came down and price pretty much exhausted and gave us this 15-minute bullish engulfing candle, I was in for buy opportunities I did get in on both accounts. One account I did take profit as we got to the high for about 100 pips, which was a 1 to 2 R to R. I had made 1% on that account as well. And for the other account, I didn't close my profits because I was anticipating a further push to the upside to around 33.57, which didn't happen until New York session going into daily candle close, which was about 2-3 hours ago. So that account that I held those positions with, price retrace, and I ended up pretty much giving back all my profits for that account, which is a little unfortunate because I did not, I did not plan for that. I should have took my profits when I had the chance, since I started off with a loss to this side, and it was a little heavy. I think I took about a 1.5% loss just because I was confident that this support area could hold. Now, when price pushed right back down, we could see that we're kind of trending, not bearish, but we see that we're respecting that 4-hour high as a level of resistance still, and price can potentially continue to push down from this area and get an actual higher low point at your 38.2, which we never touched into or never respected. This was all a 23.6% retracement, which shows that that bullish pressure is still strong in the market. So once price came down and tested this level of support down here, you see here we have a double bottom formation. Based off your 15-minute time frame, we had a strong engulfing. Let's see what that 30-minute looks like. 30-minute gave an engulfing as well. And then you can see here we slowly began to form a higher low point, which was a bullish transition based off your smaller time frames, which was your 5 and your 1 minute time frame. Gave a support higher low level here. So this was a bullish transition. You had resistance turn support, and then you had this level of support get tested right here. Let me actually do this. Okay, so you had the support form here, and then it got tested right in here with this 5-minute engulfing, which would have been a good area to execute for buy opportunities. You would have had a very tight stop loss, and this would have played out, and you could have easily cashed out for, you could have took a 1 to 3.5 R to R at that next level of a resistance. I was pretty much holding just because we weren't sure if price was going to break. And then another thing too, we also had news this morning, so that made it a little bit more difficult to anticipate a breakout because price likes to consolidate and gain liquidity before those news events in the morning. So this would have been an actual good buy opportunity, which is what I took on my second account, and I did close right in this area right before we began to retrace. I was heading to the gym at that time, so I wanted to make sure I could make back some of my loss and not end the day too much in drawdown. You know what I'm saying? So this was my second entry opportunity for these buys. You see price retrace. We had news at 5:15, had a huge bullish push. Price retrace back to this level of 1-hour support. Still testing this 5-minute transition area. Gave yourself a bullish variation here. Right in here. You could execute it for that second opportunity off that same level, same stop loss area. And this one actually went all the way up to our high at 33.57, 33.58, and you could have held this all session. So this was your ideal setup opportunity. All the confirmations were there. 1-hour level of support held. You had a double bottom formation. You had your bullish transition based off your 5-minute time frame. You had a break above your counter trendline opportunity, and it got tested on the backside, which confirmed that the seller strength was no longer in the market, so you were able to confidently execute. But yeah, man, that's gonna be the breakdown. All the confirmation candles were there, and you had a bullish engulfing off your 15-minute, bullish engulfing off your 15-minute here. You had a 5-minute bullish transition. 15-minute tested this previous level of support below that hourly level. 1-hour time frame gave sellers exhaustion and gave you confirmation that there was really no seller strength in the market after we formed this minor lower high point. So overall, we were still bullish. So hopefully that little breakdown makes sense. Let's go ahead and delete some of these technicals and see how we're going to execute going into today's session. So let's see. hopefully that made sense. I don't really feel like I rushed through it. I think it was kind of self-explanatory. But we are still targeting the upside. So based off our 4-hour time frame, I am still going to be targeting a bullish structure as long as we maintain our levels of support. So now I do understand that we are respecting this 4-hour lower high level. When we first approached this level at 2 a.m. on Tuesday, price tested it. So we had the break above. Price closed right below testing this level. Found that hourly 23.6% retracement, which formed that higher low point. So let's go ahead and mark this off here just so we know what we're looking at. Cool. So you have this here. You also have price kind of hold this area here where you had this higher low point at New York session, which gave you that initial push to the upside. All right. Let's go ahead and draw this out up here. Cool. All right. So this is what I'm really going to be looking for. All right, so we see here that price can potentially push back below that 4-hour resistance level, and it really could. It just really depends how this hourly candle closes and how our new 4-hour candle opens at 6 p.m. So, actually, let me delete this. Let's see how I'm gonna draw this out. So, this is actually cleaner. So let's do this. This is actually way cleaner. So you have your 4-hour resistance, boom. And then you have your 4-hour support here, boom. Let's go to our 30-minute time frame. 30-minute time frame, I mean, you clearly see the signs. You see price build up here. See, honestly, sometimes I don't really like having all these same color zones. I like to have a little bit of contrast so I know exactly what I'm looking at. But I do know that this is a 4-hour level of resistance, 4-hour level of support. You have a 30-minute higher low point in here. And I mean, your 30-minute time frame gives you clean details as well. So technically, you really don't have to be on your 4-hour time frame just because you know how structure is flowing. So as long as you continue to maintain higher low points, you can, higher low points, you can continue to execute buy opportunities. So let's draw this out. Let's see. We're gonna do. All right. So we see exactly how price is forming. Yeah, this area held as resistance. You have that higher low down here. Price tried making a push to the upside. Let's see. Still 23.6. Nothing has changed about that just yet. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to just leave this now. Okay, I'm not touching this at all whatsoever. I'm going to see how price plays out in this area. And hopefully we can get that push to our negative 27% if this 23.6 to 38.2% higher low holds right in here. Then at that point, I will continue to execute buy opportunities if we respect this area down here. Now, this will be a higher confirmation for buys because it'll allow me to put my stop loss right below that support level, and then I could fully execute on buys as long as we get our bullish confirmation, such as seller's exhaustion maybe off your 1-hour or 4-hour time frame, and then we get our bullish engulfing confirmations based off like your 30-minute time frame. So this is what I'm gonna be anticipating for session. I'm gonna be waiting for buy opportunities as long as we maintain above 33.30, and then I will be looking for sells if we somehow get to form lower high points below like 33.50. So that's going to be my breakdown for today, man. Hopefully you guys learned something new or learned something that you guys already know, but it just gave you confirmation. And hopefully you guys could apply it to your guys' analysis going into today's session, man. But if you watched the video up to this point, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace.